Well, as you guys know, I'm pretty nervous, so if I puke or repeat myself, I apologize in advance. It'll make for great content. So.
And video.
And video, absolutely. So this talk is about the resurrection of Ettercap. Originally it was going to be called Resurrecting. It's not just for Jesus anymore, but that got shot down. So we just went with Resurrecting Ettercap. And it's really more of a story of how a no-name douchebag like me just basically took over one of the most beloved projects in pen testing. And it's really going to go through just some of my communications with the Lord and basically how we got to where we're at and where we're going to go. So, who am I? My name's Eric Milam. I'm a senior security consultant for Activon Labs. On the Twitters, I'm Bravo Hacks, and Iron Geek, I'm known as Johnny Bravo. As I was saying, the Greg Brady Johnny Bravo, you can tell by looking at me, I'm definitely not the cartoon Johnny Bravo.
I don't know.
You're
pretty close.
I'm pretty.
No, you're not.
So I just want to do some call outs first. Of course, Hackers for Charity.
Yeah!
Total inspiration to me in my career, in my life. Pure hate, Johannes Martin Boss.
Rockstar!
He's my brother from another mother. We do a bunch of pen tests together, and basically, I sleep, he does the work, and then I take the credit at the end. So, definitely want to call it Johnny Long, again, an inspiration, and he sent me an email this summer, which unknowingly gave me the confidence and to do something like this. So thank you, Johnny, I appreciate that. I was the guy running around fanboying out at the office that Johnny Long had just emailed me. And then Jason Street, he's my boy, he gave me the pep talk for this. He basically told me I was going to suck, but that was okay. Because everybody sucks, and everybody's their hardest critic. So thank you very much, I appreciate it, I love that guy. So the topics we're going to cover, easy-creds, Ettercap, the 073 versus the 2.6.39-4 kernel that came out of Backtrack 5R1, communications with the Lord Naga, the release of Ettercap 074 Lazarus, and the future of the tool. Some of the things we got planned that we want to do, and hopefully you guys can give us more ideas and get us going. So easy-creds. Easy-creds was just a simple bash script that I wrote that basically is really a wrapper for a lot of other man-in-the-middle tools I use during pen test. It loads up Ettercap as pretty much its anchor or its core. It also leverages SSLStrip, dsniff, URL snarf, has an option for side jacking, which loads hamster and ferret, and then it also has other attacks, wireless attacks. It's got you can build a fake AP, it's got an evil twin AP, it's got the Carmel split attack, as well as I added MDK3 to toss people off the network so they can connect to your fake AP. So why did I write easy-creds? Well, I got a text one morning or an IM from somebody I worked with who was in Germany at a large company, and they had just tossed a giant segment of the land. And apparently he was a Windows guy, but he decided for whatever reason he was going to use Ettercap. Never used it before, didn't know how to set it up, didn't know what he was doing, and the attack group pretty much started with man Ettercap.
Nice.
So I pretty much told him, that's really not the route to go. So I wrote, I went out on some forums. I found Lucifer had posted how to set up a fake AP, and I just kind of took that. I converted it into a bash script for him, and everything was kind of hard-coded. And then over the course of a year or so, it kind of became what it is now. So Ettercap, SSLStrip, and the 2.6394 kernel. So Ettercap by itself, 073, no issues at all. It would run just fine, work, no errors. However, when you load up SSLStrip with Ettercap in that kernel, for whatever reasons, it starts throwing the L3 errors, and I don't know if anybody's ever experienced that, but if you Google for L3 errors, it's just a lot of other people asking what they are, and not really a way to fix it. So I started dissecting kind of what was going on, and I noticed that when the IP tables were manually updated for the SSLStrip portion is when the errors started to fly. Which is odd because apparently it's an EPERM issue, but when you're in Backtrack, running everything is root. So I still don't know why that was happening. I'm sure there's a lot of smart people out here who probably tell me, and I would So easy-creds was still successful, but now Ettercap was basically running out of resources within about 5 minutes and crashing. So I went to HackerCon and gave a talk on easy-creds. I think it's automating man in the middle for winning. The talk led to an actual live discussion between me and Iron Geek at the time about the last official release of Ettercap. So I just said, what the hell? I'm just going to email Laura Noggin, someone taking over the project. So, yeah, hubris, no. Stupidity, maybe. Most likely. Yeah. Naive, definitely, right? But I didn't care. I did it anyway. So here's the actual email that I sent to them. And you'll notice the subject line is, I've never talked to these people before. They have no idea, right? Request to officially take over Ettercap NG development. Basically, hey, we've done some things. Can we take over the project? So I get an email back from Laura shortly after that. Who are you? So we went ahead and we exchanged some emails. I showed him easy-creds. One of the other guys who had fixed some issues, he'd sent him kind of his resume and stuff. And within a couple hours, we were project admins on the source page. So, holy shit, I'm turning This is fucking badass, right? I was never dreaming this would be happening, and you know what? I was like on cloud 9, and it was awesome. And then it was holy shit. Right? Because, I mean, it's Ettercap. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. It's a brand or a commodity that everybody that I talked to, even this weekend, has been like, oh my God, that's awesome, Ettercap, I love it. And everybody has a story about it. So, you know, but why would I feel like that, right? Well, the doubts start to creep in. You know, what if we can't do it? What if it's no good? You know, what if people hate it? And then the other thoughts that come along with growing up in a house where your daddy didn't love you enough. So, but seriously, I mean, it's one of those projects that you just can't get wrong. You just can't. So, when you look at it, here's my easy-creds stats on the day that I sent out the email to Laura. Yeah, this is a project that I wrote really for myself and never expected anybody else to use. As you can see, on October 24th, there was 466 downloads, and I was like super proud of that. You know, it's awesome. Yeah, here's the stats for Ettercap on that same day. 762,496 downloads. Not to mention all the repos that it exists in and all the distros that it's on, right? So what's that? 762,000 downloads, more than easy-creds? Even Jesus was worried. Right? Like when the Son of God doesn't have your back, you should be a little bit concerned as well. But you know what? We did it. And on December 4th of 2011, 074 Lazarus was released with the full support of the Laura Naga. They wrote a really nice password. And you know, we got t-shirts made, so we know that it's an actual official project. The project is a project that
It's not official until you have a Facebook page.
That's not going to happen. So 074 Lazarus, what it really was is it was largely bug fixes and code cleanup. This was really at the request of Laura Naga, because we came in and were like, we want to do all this stuff. And, you know, what do you think? And basically he said, hey, why don't you slow down? Let's just fix what's there first. And then we can think about what we want to do after that. We can start putting stuff together, you know. You guys can do whatever you want. You know, I asked him, you know, how much do you want to be involved? And he said, it's your baby now. You know, we're passing it over to you. You can go ahead and go for it. So one of the things that he did say was it's got to compile online, which if anybody actually pulled the first push
Shut up.
Yeah, anybody pulled the first push of the file, I pushed the wrong version, so it couldn't compile, but I didn't tell anybody for about 2 hours. So, but the cool thing, you know, there was no more L3 errors, no more resource exhaustion. Like I said, we cleaned up a lot of the code. We did try to make sure that it was as good as we can get it. There's definitely still some issues. that we want to work through. There, a couple of bugs that come up, but for the most part, we got it out there. We got people talking about it again. And of course, I was on Google every day seeing who was talking about it, and I was really blown away at the excitement of people. So 075 assimilation, and that's the only thing I'm really part of the project for, is to give these things names. So Lazarus was my idea, and assimilation, it actually comes from Piaget's basically taking the external world, internalizing it, and taking it over. Thanks. We've already coded these things that are here. We've got the NVNF spoofing, which is going to be new. I reached out to Moxie and said, hey, we're thinking about including an SSLStrip functionality built into it. And, he kind of, I don't know if he gave us his blessing, but he let us know it was okay. So multiple filter loading, IPv6 support, and other things that are definitely in the works, like a voice dissector of some kind. And, we'd like to really do an agent dropper that would go out so you can voice another broadcast. But we actually started talking about a major release, and I'm way more excited about this because we got some things that are cooking if we can really pull them off. Not just bug fixes. We really want to go to the next level. We don't just want to keep adding on to what's there. What we'd like to do is really Ettercap at its core is a router, and Ettercap becoming a tool for malicious routing, building a new kernel architecture, building an API, building an extension framework so that it has a core that runs, that's self-aware, that can look at its resources, it can draw communications if it needs to, if it's getting overwhelmed. The cool thing is, sorry? Okay, yeah, so after all this we can talk, and I definitely want feedback from the community because we want to make this for you guys. So. But what we're doing is, the extension framework is basically, you can just write whatever modules you want and plug it right into Ettercap. So it's not this all-encompassing thing. You can basically, anybody can write whatever they need to for whatever network they're in, within Python or Perl or something, and just plug it right in, and it'll work with it. A current team, lead developer, Emilio Escobar, sick mind, zero chaos if he ever pushes any code. Pure hate who's just here for stream cred. Thank you guys very much. Don't forget to give the hackers for charity.